In this lecture, we will add a custom icon for our block. Throughout this course, we've been relying on WordPress's dash icons. They're the default icon font sets available in WordPress. You may want to use your own icons. Luckily, SVG icons are supported. In the resource section of this lecture, I provide a link to an SVG icon. It's a picture of a unicorn. Truthfully, it doesn't make sense. However, I think the icon is pretty cool. You're more than free to use your own icon. If you're not familiar with SVG, they're a format for images. Unlike other images, SVG images are written in code. Knowledge of SVG is not required. Let's copy the image to our clipboard. Make sure you're copying the code, not the image itself. Let's head back to our editors. Inside the source directory, create a file called icons.js. I prefer to outsource my icons to separate files. This step is not required, but it can be helpful if you plan on using icons throughout your codebase. Your icons can be found within a single file. Inside this file, export an object under the default namespace. Next, create a property called primary. This icon will be the primary icon for our blocks. Let's set the property to the SVG code of the image. SVG files can be very large. You may be wondering, is it valid to store SVG like this? Normally, no. JavaScript does not support SVG images. However, we have Webpack installed. With the installation of Webpack, JSX is supported. Before this file is delivered to the browser, the SVG elements will be converted into objects. Our next step is to load this icon. We must load the icon from the register block type function. Open the index.js file for the search form block. At the top of the file, import the icons object from the icons file. Take notice of the path to the icons file. The file can be found in the source directory. We are using 2 dots and a / character to move up a directory. After importing the icons, the object passed into the register block type function can be updated with a property called icon. The value for this property will be icons.primaryProperty. The settings from the block file can be applied to this object. The difference is that we can have dynamic values instead of hard-coding the icon's name. Since we're adding the icon to this object, the block file can be updated to not include the icon property. Open the block.json file for the search form block. Remove the icon property. Time to test our code. In the browser, refresh the editor. Let's search for the search form block from the sidebar. We did it! A custom icon appears for our block. WordPress will handle resizing the SVG image. The recommended dimensions for an icon are 24 by 24. As an exercise, let's apply this icon to the fancy header block. For the rest of this course, we are going to be using the same icon for custom blocks. I want you to try adding the custom icon to the fancy header block. Pause the video and give it a try. Welcome back. If you were to add the custom icon, that's great. If not, that's fine as well. Let's tackle the problem together. In your editor, open the index.js file for the fancy header block. At the top of the file, import the icons object from the icons file. Next, the object can be updated with the icon by adding the icon property. The value for this property will be the icons.primaryProperty. Lastly, open the block.json file. The icon property can be safely removed from this file. After making those changes, refresh the page in the browser. We can search for our blocks by typing Udemy. WordPress allows us to search for blocks by the value of the name property. Since both blocks start with Udemy, both will appear in the search results. Perfect. Both blocks are using the custom icon. I strongly encourage you to add custom icons. They can add a premium feel to your blocks. Let's continue developing our block in the next lecture.